Welcome back to Benny's Custom Works, proudly supported by Valvoline and Sparesbox. Don't forget Benny 5 on checkout. This week, we're still on the Falcon because it's pretty much all we got left at this point. We did have a really good time out at Pheasantwood with Revolution Motorsport. Massive thanks again to those guys for putting on that driver training day. They've got tons of days going all the time now, so get on board if you haven't already. That being said, when we're at Pheasantwood, I do need to apologise to Pheasantwood ground staff because I did put the car into the grass and rip the grass up pretty bad. So we are going to wash the car today. I know that sounds really exciting, but I got a new pressure washer we're going to try out. We're not just going to wash the car, don't worry, it's not a 15-minute montage car wash video. We do have a heap of upgrades to go into the car today. The one thing I did learn at Pheasantwood is the factory diff ratio just doesn't quite cut it because I'm really always stuck at the top of second, and as soon as I go to third it bogs down. So I believe the fix for that is going to be going to a shorter diff ratio. So we're going to go from 3.45 today to 4.1. So I picked up a 4.1 territory diff. It's an M86, so it's the largest factory Falcon diff available. The downfall of the territory diff is that it is an open diff. There's no LSD. I did mention previously on camera that I was going to put a spool in it, or that all changed when I found a Kaaz two-way on Marketplace for a really cheap price. I picked that up for 550 bucks. So yeah, I'm really stoked with that, because it means that it's not going to always be locked. It means I could potentially dual purpose the vehicle a little bit better in that we can probably do some circuit stuff with it. A lock diff is okay, but the guys at Shockworks were like, oh, if you could put LSD in it'd be better. So yeah, fingers crossed that it does turn out the way I hope, but yeah, pretty stoked with that outcome. The other thing we are going to do also is build a one-piece tail shaft on a budget. Shout out to Bill Hooton. He's got a yellow FG that's had more hits than Elvis. It was NA Barra powered for a long time and it's just had a Coyote swap. He backed it into a wall again the other day, but the guy's a gun and he will no doubt repair that car and it'll be out again sooner rather than later. He's got a magical recipe for tail shaft things, and it includes an AU one-piece tail shaft which has 1310 unis in it, a 1310 to 1350 adapter uni on each end. There's a 1350 uni conversion yoke you can get for the diff, and a 1350 to T56 yoke as well. So we're going to cobble all that together today in addition to fitting the diff. And the other really exciting thing we've got to fit is an IMS twin bush diff hat. Now I did use one of these in Scotty's Falcon with Haltech Project G6E a long time ago, and I was really impressed with the quality and how easy it was to fit. The other cool thing is it's made in Australia, so trying to find stuff that is still made in Australia is getting harder and harder. So yeah, I'm happy to really support Australian-made product where possible. So yeah, we're going to whack that in today. It's not a bolt-in kit. It does require cutting and welding, but in my opinion, it is definitely worth the upgrade. The front bushes, we're going to move back 5mm in the subframe. Someone did mention in the comments that they were too far forward and that the bolt will hit the fuel tank. It doesn't hit the fuel tank, but the IMS twin bush hat, you've got to weld the brackets on in relation to the front bushes. So I want to get that 5mm clearance. So in the future, if we have to change anything, we've got absolutely no issues with clashing with the tank. So we're going to wash the car because I don't want to dirty the floor because there's dirt all under the back of the car. So we're going to wash all that out first. Then we're going to get into it, rip the rear end out again, cut the subframe up, swap all the rear end out, build the tail shaft, put it back together, high five and go home. Oh, and the other thing we're going to do is put more oil in the gearbox, because someone did helpfully comment in the comments of our video as to why it says don't remove the fill plug. Do not remove fill plug. We're just going to pretend we didn't see that. As it turns out, on the Ford T56s, you actually need to fill the gearbox through the reverse hole. Why? No idea. The other confusing thing is, I don't know why they wouldn't just put that on the sticker. It says refer owner's manual or refer workshop manual. Just put it on the sticker for it. That would have been so much easier. Anyway, let's wash some stuff. So this is our new Giraffe Tools G20 wall-mounted pressure washer. The thing's really cool. It's got a really long retractable hose on it, so it'll do about 20 meters. It's also got heaps of different attachments and stuff, and it also comes with a foam cannon already pre-fitted to suit this pressure washer. It's also got a really good sturdy steel wall-mounted bracket. It's got 180 degrees of swivel, so depending on where you want to mount it, you've got sort of all sorts of mounting applications and setups on it. For us particularly, I can lay it flat against the wall, and it does mean we've got more clearance against the door chain. So we're going to fire it up and give it a test run, see how it actually does in the real world. Pretty good, it knocks the bulk of it off pretty easy. Luckily I've got this convenient internal bar washing panel. I bought my first grid guard I do like this too. This is a good little cheat.
Ah, yeah. Oh, even hanging it on the side of the bucket.
Yeah, bro.
Just to clarify, you're not washing with coolant.
I'm not washing with coolant, no.
Yeah.
This has got to be my favorite wheel cleaner. And I know it's not going to do the best job because these wheels are hammered, so it's probably not a fair representation of the product. Little known fact, good smelling wheels are key to a good drift car. Mint.
Nice.
Like that's pretty neat. There's literally just a storage spot. Just chills out in the back there.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
Awesome.
They've actually put a lot of thought into putting it together. Remember, kids, top to bottom when you wash your car. Like the dirty stuff's gonna run off the car down. So there's no point starting on the door or the bumper
And bringing all the dirt up again.
Yeah. So normally the other thing I'll do is I'll wash the whole car and I'll do the wheels last.
I actually really like this color of blue or green, depending on how colorblind you are.
It's definitely blue. If you think that's green, I probably recommend not editing videos anymore or driving a car.
It's kind of handy to have a bright color on track as well, so people actually see you.
See, so when you door me, I know that it was deliberate.
Well, you can see, you know, a blur of this kind of bright color coming to you a bit easier than, say, black.
So you can aim better. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, I mean,
if the shoe fits. Now it is worth mentioning, if you are going to use a pressure washer to wash your car, make sure that you don't have it too close, otherwise you'll blow the paint off. Like that.
That was after running it into your hoist though,
I don't know what you're talking about. Just want to get the water out. Because if you're going to take the handpiece off, you need to make sure there's no water pressure, because you'll fight the water pressure trying to undo that coupler, and it's just an absolute mission. It wasn't on this pressure washer, it was my old one, so I'm well experienced in dealing with the trials and tribulations of undoing pressure washers. Swish. It's pretty cool, like the swiveling locks.
Oh yeah, righto.
So it's not like you're fighting it, so once you lock it in, it's so good. If you want to pick up a Giraffe Tools G20 pressure washer of your own, we've got a link and a discount code below. I know, I'm aware.
Could I even show that, or is that too rude?
I think it's rude.
Cool.
I mean, it's rude. You're attacking me personally, but it is what it is. I am keen to put the spacers on the front, because then I get 19mm wheel nuts and I can get rid of this stupid socket.
My knees are another year closer to hating their life more.
Yeah, welcome friend. Thanks to everyone who's persisted watching the Falcon series.
This is true. Can't see,
if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It does help us out. Genuinely.
Yeah.
Tell your Falcon friends. Let's all get Falcons.
Way better than Sylvia's anyway.
Jesus, that's a dangerous comment.
It's so dangerous. I don't know if I'll use that.
Yeah, use it for sure.
No way.
Bro, you've got a Sylvia and a Falcon, and you said that they're better than, well, I mean...
I thought you said I don't have a Sylvia.
No.
I thought I had a Sylvia until the time that I said that I've got a Sylvia and you said where.
It's the same thing, bro.
Yeah.
I don't really care that much. It's just fun to stay up.
Do you reckon it's a bad idea to take the 180 to the wet pan these days?
Yes.
Yeah. Just drift your house deposit.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah.
We were having that conversation at Pheasantwood the other day.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look at all these dudes out here drifting house deposits.
Yeah. Oh man.
And then there's us in our pleb Falcons.
Oh man, but how
Who
about
do
the
you reckon
Chaser?
had more fun?
Yeah, it's true. How about the Chaser that
You know
spun
what
out
though?
in front
Those
of you?
dudes were having fun.
Oh,
especially
of
the guy
course.
in that black 180.
Oh man. And
That black 180 from Canberra was so nice.
yeah, and the Chaser sounded so good.
I would genuinely not enjoy that, because it, like, every second I'm just like, what if?
Yeah, don't hit this, don't hit that. I'm
not that good of a driver where I'm like, oh, I've got this in the bag 100%.
Oh, same. I think the irony is if I didn't commit to the corners as much as I did in the Falcon, knowing that there's not as much pressure, the irony is I think I would have maybe understeered or done something silly and drive
I found that exactly
worse.
too. Like, once I started getting more aggressive, as dumb as that sounds, getting more aggressive, it was easier to drive.
Yeah,
when I was kind of like wimping around a bit.
Yeah.
This disc is lipped. Only a little bit though.
Lipped. What's lipped? Like warped?
No, it's just got a lip on it. Just from being a bit,
I
probably
see.
from doing a million burnouts with the brakes being dragged.
Yeah, I see. It develops like,
A step.
yeah, I can feel it.
You're supposed to machine that off.
Oh, okay.
It's probably had like 7 pad slaps in its life.
I'm just curious on the change in feel of when it's driving next time.
Just totally going on a side quest here. That looks like a reverse light switch. The annoying thing is someone's done some questionable electronic work and then they've just cut the plug off. So we're gonna have to cut that again and I'll put a new connector on it. But I reckon that is the reverse light switch. Weird. Anywho, oh, that's not gonna happen.
What are the benefits of going to the one-piece tow shaft?
Not dealing with all this junk.
Cool.
Gets rid of the guibo, the rubber coupling there.
And are they
Because-
just a weak point?
Well, that one's failing.
Okay.
And that one is going to cost me, how hot? Yeah, that one's going to cost me a bit of money to fix and replace. So I'm like, well, if we're going to replace it, we may as well upgrade it.
And I'd hate to think what happens if that fails.
It's not going to be as bad as you think because it's still got like a center spigot to go between that side and this side. So
Okay.
all that really happens is it smashes the guts out and it'll bottom out on one of those. Like the tail shaft's
Okay.
not coming out.
Okay, cool.
Just watch your head that it doesn't get whacked.
Thanks.
Actually, I'm just going to rag that so that the back of the uni doesn't explode out. Because hopefully that never goes back in the car again.
Good to see you taking your own advice.
Never forget. Yay,
What does that mean?
we're winning.
Okay, cool.
That means that the tail shaft's going to work. Got a really explodey CV, there's just grease and crap everywhere.
Ah, okay.
Yay. I swear Caitlin's going to watch all these videos and think I just hate you. All the shit talking.
She won't watch these videos.
She subscribed at least?
You know what? I'm gonna check.
Get on a YouTube account and subscribe it to us so we want more subscribers.
Yes, if everyone has a friend that they
their
know that their account, please just jump on and give us a subtle subscribe.
Yeah, everyone loves a subtle sub.
If the subs increase from this point, then we'll know that you guys are all over it
Yeah, and you're awesome.
at hacking your friends' phones.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I'll just undo all these bolts and it'll drop out.
Quick release.
Yeah, can't get too carried away. Got under the handbrake cables.
Must be nice to have a handbrake cable that works.
It is. It's because I didn't get overzealous and try and tighten it within an inch of its life. I'm just regular zealous.
Sounds like some sort of lemon reference.
What?
I don't know, zest, zealous, slip yolk, egg yolk.
We are not the same. You're just thinking about food 24/7. You're such an Italian. It's either soccer or food with you lot. Been watching the Olympics much?
No, yourself?
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about the Olympics actually.
Really? Why?
Because there's full on, like, if you're not even allowed to mention it.
What?
It's full copyright deal, bro.
Really?
You can't,
go.
like, we can't broadcast scores or results or...
Yeah, of course. I would imagine so, but
Have
surely...
you watched the nondescript sporting event currently happening in Paris that may or may not have multiple countries attending and different sports?
That's cool.
I went when I was 12. Does that count? when it was in Sydney.
So you have been to the Olympics?
I have not. I have been as a spectator, not as a participant. Is
I
there
reckon,
an official count for how many sports you're allowed to have at the Olympics?
Is mechanics a sport?
It is not.
But it's like extremely physical and requires lots of skill.
I mean, there are skills games where you can go and do things. A lot of manufacturers do it. Like,
is there really?
If you work at a Subaru dealership, for instance, you can go in the world skills. I don't know what it's actually called, but you can go over. Like, the final is in Japan,
and what do you have
there's
to
an
do?
Australian. Like, there's an Australian every year that goes.
Like a team, or is in a
No,
single?
one guy.
Yeah. Oh wow. And what are you doing? Like diagnosing?
Yeah, diagnostics and all sorts
Wow.
of stuff. I think. I mean, I wasn't the guy that went. I never entered it, to be honest, because I don't know if you can go as an apprentice, and I only have worked at a Subaru dealer while I was an apprentice, so
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah.
Don't forget this bolt, which we're not going to use anymore. I think you've got to cut this off, actually, off the car. I'll have to check my instructions.
What I'm hearing
Which I
is
don't know where they
mechanics is a sport, but it's just not recognised by the
Olympics.
worldwide
The
competition.
IOC,
IOC.
International Olympics Committee.
IOC, EWOC, egg yolk, slip yolk.
Yeah, I was going to say you'll get back on the food train in a second. Gian's food chat's now loading.
EWOC.
You're an Ewok. We've only got one bolt on each side of the subframe, so we'll do the same as we did last time. Bring it down, put it on stands. I hate this part.
I like how you've got the two stands there and they're just like, yeah, they ain't going anywhere, but then you've got that real pissy one at the back that's just throwing a real
All that's
question
doing is
mark
stopping
in
it
the day.
rolling off the back though.
Okay.
It
It's
does
just
it,
the balancer.
yeah, it's just steadying it so that
Yeah.
it doesn't flip off the back side.
Yeah.
It's not the size of the stand, Gian, it's how you use it.
Nice. Glad you saw that opportunity. Love the technique.
Is it coming off on your side?
I'm not really watching it, to be honest. Yes, it is.
Good to know.
Oh, hold on. No, we're good. Yeah, cool. No.
Yeah, nah, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Nah, yeah, nah? You won't do what you tell me. That's
Now-
off on this side.
Now, yeah. It's almost like you've done this before. That was really quick and efficient.
That's a Rage Against the Machine quote.
Yeah, I like it.
You know what I didn't do? I didn't drain the oil out of the diff. The machine's raged against us.
So is this diff oil as you expect it to look?
I don't know yet, I haven't looked at it. I'm ignoring it. I'm a little bit angry with myself for not draining it earlier.
Remind me again, this diff
Yep.
coming out
Yep.
and
Going in your Falcon.
Ah, yes, perfect.
Because that's a 345.
Yeah, which is slightly shorter
yours
diff
is
ratios
308.
than what I've got.
Yeah, fair bit shorter. It's no 4.1. You know what I am going to do? I'm going to see how this goes in my car.
Yeah,
The
good idea.
4.1.
Good idea.
Because I'm like, maybe there's potential to just put a 4.1 straight in yours.
Okay. I actually like the long gear ratios just because
Well, I'm not going to touch it then. You just do you.
in the wet, I think it helps. I don't have to worry about shifting to third ever. Quite high in
I guess it just
second
depends
RPM.
entirely what you want to do with the car.
Yeah, it's true. Going forward here, are we going to go dry drifting?
I don't know, are you?
If you're going to, I'll do it.
I wouldn't do big track at Sydney Motorsport Park in that Falcon.
Okay, that's what I was sort of thinking.
I'd maybe do South Circuit, but I wouldn't do the big track.
Yeah, with all those other high
I think,
horsepower cars,
I think
seems
Rally
intimidating.
would be good in these,
Yeah, true.
but same with 4.1. I think
Yes.
I think you'll struggle with 308s is just a non-event. I think 345s you'll struggle,
Yeah. Yeah,
especially
true.
because you don't like clutch kicking at all.
Yeah, I never do it.
Yeah, that oil doesn't look great. It's pretty black.
Yeah, what do you look for? Like cloudiness or?
Just colour. It's dark. Like it's nice, clear. Looks like a clear straw colour when it goes in, and it's
Yeah.
definitely not looking like that now. You can see where this has been bashing the floor. The bush is like flogged out. The inner is getting tyre rub, which I thought I felt that too.
And what's just next to it? What are those lines? Brake lines?
Yeah, don't worry about them. Oh well, 10mm spacers all round.
I know there's lots of controversial thoughts around using spacers, but
I wouldn't use them on a road car, that's for sure.
yeah, okay.
But the other thing is they are hub centric, and they also have the through nuts. So you're not losing sun engagement, and you also have that hub centric location. So you're no worse. In my opinion, you're really no worse off. Oh, there's sparkles in that.
Do you reckon it was leftover sparkles?
Well, I mean, it's like panning for gold. I feel like I need to get my river sluice out and get my snuffer bottle out and get all the little flakes.
Put them in your scrap metal pile.
You wouldn't put gold in scrap metal pile, bro. If I'm rich enough that I'm putting gold in my scrap metal pile, I don't think we're going to be working on Falcons.
Nah, surely we still would.
Yeah, I would for sure. But I would buy a piece of land and I would have my own track on it, so
Oh,
we could
yeah.
drift it every day. Good on people in 2024 for doing that sort of stuff, because I can't imagine how hard that would be as a business with all the do-gooders around saying, oh, it's too noisy and it's too this and it's too that.
Yeah,
Especially the ones that move there after those things get built.
I know. So frustrating.
There should be Like absolutely no recourse for moving near something that was already there.
Yeah.
People buy there because it's cheap.
Yeah,
Land
of
is
course.
cheap near racetracks or airports or any of that sort of stuff or industry because of the location.
Yeah.
And then people that buy cheap sook about it and then try and get that the fun or the business shut down.
20 mufflers.
I'm good with that. There's absolutely no reason to have noisy 300 horsepower cars. It just doesn't. I'm totally fine
Yeah. If
with
that's
shutting
the solution.
up. With shutting up. But even anyway,
Yeah.
there's no reason a 300 horsepower car needs a straight pipe. It just sounds horrible.
And that's coming from people that like cars.
Yeah.
I just hope that people don't think car enthusiasts are the people that put really loud exhausts on particular cheap cars.
That's exactly what people think we are.
Yeah, that sucks.
We are all heaped in the same mould
Yeah.
or tarred with the same brush.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
Pick your analogy.
Also, why do you think it's a trend to have like snap, crackle, pop on deceleration?
I don't know, but it's so shit, bro.
Yeah.
No one cares about your Mark 7 Golf. And unfortunately, that's the sort of stuff that causes problems for genuine car people.
Yeah.
Like-
meanwhile, I've got stock exhaust. You've got heaps of
That was so funny.
resonators and
Old mate doing the noise test at
Oh,
Pheasant Wood.
yeah.
I'm like, I swear he would have asked if your car was even on. Oh yeah, just turn it on for me, mate. It's like,
Yeah.
it's running, it's on.
I wish I'd made mention of it, but the guy in the van actually won.
I think
He was
did
the
mention
quietest.
it. I'm pretty sure it was in the video. He was such a nice dude, eh?
He was so
And
nice.
he was having the time of his life.
Man,
And that is what all car things are about. But those type of days, you can bring anything and no one cares.
so inspirational.
It was, man, he was killing it.
Yeah.
And admittedly, I didn't even go and look at the car, which I wish I had. And in watching the video, I realised that it was turboed. And
Yeah, how
because
nuts.
I asked him, I was like, "Oh, what have you done to it?" He's like, "Oh, not much." And
Yeah,
he was
played it down.
super humble about it.
You had a baby seat in the car too.
I saw that, and I'm like, man, this thing goes so well. And yeah, it makes way more sense now that it was turbo. But such a cool car, like
And touch
just
wood.
something you'd think that absolutely never going to see at a track.
Yeah.
And he's
tou-
out there
touch
tearing it
wood,
up.
Yeah, all day. Just loved
Yeah,
it.
probably did the most laps out of anyone.
Yeah. So his car got, I think, 70 on the decibel reading, and mine got 77. So
I ripped it
apparently
up.
I was second quietest, but
Yes.
he won the title
Nice.
and bragging rights.
Almost got withdrawals because it's like now I don't have any more.
Yeah, there's none.
Because we missed out on the next few days.
Yeah.
Look at all the CV grease on the exhaust.
Oh, is that what that
I
is?
think that's what that is. I don't really know what else would be spraying.
Could it be just like muddy?
It kind of looks like it's been on fire.
Oh, like the blackness.
But in saying that, we never really looked at it before. Like it could have been Canberra things. Like
I mean, we
there's
could
every chance
refer
it was.
back to the videos.
Oh, I don't really care that much.
So, did you say you're going to tap these in further?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So it didn't touch the tank, but it was close.
Yes.
So if you look up here, here is kind of like a witness mark on the skid tray of where it sat, and
Yeah.
then the bolt was on that. So I'd say we were close
Yes.
for the sake of not having to ever do it again.
Yeah.
And you kind of only get one go at welding the bracket on. So the tabs that we've got to weld to the subframe, if we need more, they will sell just the tabs, which is cool. Are we
Oh, that's
doing
right. That's the excited side.
the doing, doing, doing?
What a flashback to that Eminem song, right? Wow.
Good pickup. Probably going to be a 22 on that. I think it's actually a 21. May as well keep these arms as spares.
You're just going to add it to your spare Ford mezzanine pile?
Oh yeah, you're probably right. Like how much stuff do we keep?
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying keep everything, but
Yeah, okay,
gonna-
cool. So here's a good example of why you change this stuff. So these have rubber bushings on the inner and a spherical bearing on the outer, and that bearing has movement. So that one can go in the bin, this top arm and the control blade.
where'd
We've
you
got
get those
new ones. They're from Sparesbox.
from? Oh, sweet.
So the Super Pro ones. Similar to what we used to put in the FG. Like it's just full replacement arms. We don't have to muck around pressing bushes. And the good thing is the front arms, which we're admittedly not fitting today, are all new. New arm, new ball joint, new bushes, the full box and dice. So easy to just whack them in. Kadonk. Man, I've done so many diff-related things lately. Both of Adam's cars, like the Mini, the Pajero Junior and the Chima. Oh man, they've been both pain-inducing jobs.
Difficult, would you say?
Oh, very difficult, Gian.
Uh-huh.
Boom tish. Difficult but different.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that sounds nice and in there. That's a very, I'm still joined to that hub noise.
Man, you love that spray.
It does a good job. This is when we start to run into problems. When the shaft's like stuck.
Ah, okay.
The other thing is I may actually kill these shafts trying to get them out of the hub.
Is that because the impact, like you're just going to take a hammer and try and
flog the out of it,
Yeah.
basically.
And
Well,
what
the
does
other
that,
thing
does
is
that?
for the cost of the shafts, the 2 hours to try and save one,
Yes, true.
we're better off just buying new ones. I just want to support it, so when I start walloping on it,
Walloping.
42
Is that a
Wallopy
real
Way,
word?
Sydney.
So you're saying that like if you bash on this, that it could destroy the shaft?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
and you can put nuts on there to try and protect it,
Yeah.
but being that, like I said, these shafts, I was really excited thinking it was coming out, but
Yeah, I thought change of tone is good.
yeah, it may be coming out, but it was more that the fact that disc was falling off.
Uh-huh. Oh man, no tone change there.
0. Oh, that's not good.
Okay, so that's the example of they're
Yeah, now
stuffed.
it's munted.
Yeah, I see. Is half the reason that it's actually absorbing the impact?
It's loose.
Oh, cool.
Didn't you hear the tone change?
No.
The only problem is, if I've mushroomed that so bad,
Ah, I see.
it won't fit through the splines.
Yeah.
There we go. I suppose the good thing is, at least because the subframe's out, you can get a good swing on it, I guess.
Slightly longer,
But it's longer in the shaft though. I suppose the thing is too, the M86 diff is wider. Well, they're also different spline count.
I know you've explained it before, but I still don't understand how that, when you hammer this in, locks in. Like, is this the lock ring or
No,
whatever?
the snap ring is, yeah.
So
it'll go into a shoulder,
So
like it
this will
goes through.
physically just drop down, and that tiny.
Yeah, because there's no force really pulling it out of the hub.
Right. So gravity just holds that down there.
Well, the spring opens up, like it's, and it locks the splines pulling out.
It's the most confusing thing to me, is how that locks in so well.
How they can go in the bin. Guess what? I bought another GoPed. Can't
Ooh,
stop,
yellow
won't
this
stop.
time.
I know. I was really excited because I thought it was a Liquimatic, which means that it's got like a tiny little torque converter.
Yeah.
But it turns out that it's still a Sport. I thought all the yellow ones were, yeah, it's got some pretty gnarly.
Is that like an old piece of someone's house?
I'm pretty sure it's a piece of laminated flooring. It's my latest side project.
So you bought that because you have these spare parts that you don't know
Well, I
what
mean,
else to do
honestly, I didn't know how bad it was. Like, it's pretty rough,
with. Yeah.
but it's also the cheapest one I've ever bought.
Oh, that's
In
right.
the future, this will stop the sword in the stone. You don't need to go to town because with a spline, half of it is going to get dragged off when you put it through the hub anyway. Shit, they found me. Relax, people, it was a joke. There's a fire station around the corner. Nailed it. Did not in fact nail it. Should we hammer the bushes maybe first? I think that would be the go. Because the problem I have is I don't have anything that size.
Yeah, like I guess that'd be a ginormous socket.
Yeah, or a spacer.
Yeah, and I suppose you can't like line it up to hammer on the actual rubber.
Yeah, I don't really want to hammer it on the edge.
Yeah.
Like 72 mil.
You're gonna machine up a tool.
I'm thinking about it.
Is that just a solid block of something or other?
Aluminium, yeah.
Crazy.
And what I'm going to do now is just machine like 72 mil OD, and then I'll mill like a 10 mil step,
Yeah.
and then I'll just hammer it until it butts out.
That's awesome.
Whenever you change your chuck jaws, you need to make sure that you put the right number chuck jaw in the right spot. So all of them typically are numbered factory. So numbered 1, 2, 3, because it's a 3-jaw chuck. and then they'll have the same number corresponding in the chuck. But a good way of keeping them in the right spot while you're clocking them is to just use a rubber band. Sometimes it takes a couple of goes. There's probably a scientific way of doing it as well. I think I got it right on the first go.
Hey.
Look at that, go team. Legit, first go unedited. Put my bit of aluminium in there.
Aluminum?
What?
I'm not American.
Dirtbag.
You're just measuring the internal diameter of the
subframe,
slot.
yeah.
Yeah.
850 it is. I need glasses.
Hey!
Hey. You can hear it like just dragging, eh? Because I'm taking a pretty deep cut. So we've progressed a bit since you had lunch.
Yes, and a slow eater.
Yes. So I've machined the tool and now I'm actually going to thread it because I realised that it's going to be very hard to try and hold and hammer in and get any kind of decent force. So the plan now, bolt it into the bush and not use it as a puller, but use the bolt as a locator.
Sounds promising.
And then just be able to hammer the guts out of it. And because we've got this shoulder, I can't remember what the measurement there is. I think it's about 8 millimeters. So I've just put that shoulder in there and that will bottom out on the subframe and it'll mean that you won't put it in too far or any of that sort of deal.
Yeah, sweet.
That's the theory.
What do you call your creation here?
A bush installer.
Are you going to engrave it to label it?
No. I'll just put it in the drawer of all the tools I've made.
The story of your life is just rear subframes from now on.
Aluminium's not really the right material to make this out of, but it's what I got.
Yeah.
And I'm also not going to use it every day. Like, it's going to get used 3 or 4 times in the lifetime of the tool, probably.
Ideally, what would you make this out of?
Steel.
Okay.
For a few reasons. A, that this face is going to burr pretty bad if it's aluminium. Also, the thread may pull out. It shouldn't because you're not acting on the bolt. So it shouldn't really pull the thread, but I guess there's potential for it to pull the thread.
What do you do with all the swarf? Can you melt that back down?
Oh, you could. Scrappies don't really like swarf.
Okay.
Because in aluminium it's so heavily oxidized, it's quite hard to actually get good yield from trying to reclaim it. Do you want to make sure that you're not damaging the thread when you wind it out either. If the swarf gets caught in it, it can be not ideal, but it seems to work pretty good. I'm going to get the countersinking tool out and I'm going to machine that burr off too because it's very sharp. And that'll also be the first place that it mushrooms.
So wheel manufacturers, you know when we say like genuine wheels, what material are genuine wheels made out of versus a cheaper wheel?
It's not always the material. Sometimes replica wheels are made out of similar materials. It's more people more get hung up on the fact that the style is copied than anything. So yes, there's an element of material, and a lot of genuine wheels will be forged aluminium, which is just a different manufacturing process altogether, which is a lot stronger. But there's plenty of genuine wheels out there, like Enki RPF ones, like they're cast. And a lot of replica wheels, or all the replica wheels I know of are cast. It'll just help stuff go in, there's no burrs, and it just makes me happy. So much Christmas decorations. Look at that.
Look at that.
Would you look at that?
Wow. You know what I say to that?
What?
Would you look at that?
Would you look at that? Ready?
Hey, God.
Done.
Two hits.
I'll tell you, bake a turkey. 20 minutes well spent on the lathe.
Yeah, would you look at that? A good golf swing.
Thanks. I'm proud of that one. Get that out of the way.
Where do you need to cut?
This has all got to go.
And
So I'm just going to chop it across there and across there.
So what then replaces whatever this
New
is
brackets.
holding?
So these.
Oh, okay. So that's the
all makes
rear
sense.
mounting point.
Yeah. So instead of having a single,
Yeah.
that's why it's called the twin bush.
Right.
because you've obviously got two bushes.
I see.
See ya. So I'm going to actually just flap wheel that off, and I'll just get rid of that piece altogether. So I've got to now swap the back cover onto the new diff. Then we've got to put the mounting brackets onto it as well.
Yep.
Which I really, really hope these are the same between M80 and M86, because otherwise then that's game over. I didn't even think about that till just now. Pretty much 9 inches. I'm only using inches because that's where it lines up. Yeah, no, we're sweet.
Oh, thank goodness.
We're gravy.
Phew.
Ooh, look at that prettiness. So they give you all new hardware. With the kit, you get all new diff cover bolts, as well as obviously the 2 bolts to go through the bushings. New fuel plug as well. It's a much smaller port than the factory one. And they've also got a breather, but I'm just going to change that breather. Just going to put a -4 AN fitting on that, because I'm just going to run like a -4 AN fitting, or like a breather somewhere else, like externally. You can just see how much thicker these are in the casting. Like, it's just so much weightier, if that's a word.
Is it actually much heavier?
It feels a lot heavier.
Okay.
Like it's going to be way stronger.
There you go. So is that the same material as this?
No. So
Okay.
the housing is cast iron or potentially nodular iron,
Yep.
and the cover is cast aluminium or
Okay.
aluminium alloy. I just need a bit of tweaking sometimes, some of these bolt locks. See the fingers got to interlock onto that.
Yeah.
You got to just make sure that they're in the right spot.
Oh, I see why it's the best diff housing.
Why?
It's #1.
You're a clown. I'm going to leave the fuel plug out deliberately so that we know there's no oil in it.
You're just installing the carry handles.
Sure. No, I need them first to locate the diff,
Ah, of course.
because I've got to put it in there.
Bolt it up.
So I've got to bolt it up first
Yep.
to understand where the brackets are going to go.
Of course.
The reason I haven't put the drive shafts in yet is I don't want any potential for welding spatter to go on the splines, because that's going to be a bad time.
Cool, so that's where it sits.
Within reason. It's pretty nice, man. Now, the other thing we've got to make sure we do, make sure the handbrake cables are on top of the diff when we put it back in.
True this.
Sweet, so they're all flush. So I can burn all of them in. That goes there to brace
Cool.
it all up.
Yeah, sweet.
Pretty good, eh?
Yeah, not bad.
Freaking hell, that's a good kit.
Is the reason for the 2 system because...
Just the strength, so it's
yeah,
loaded symmetrically.
Cool. Yeah.
Instead of having load only on one side, like the factory one, there's a bush there and it pivots on it.
Yeah.
Whereas
okay.
these, you're actually compressing the bush because you've now also moved the way the bush is loaded, as well as there being 2.
Yes.
You basically turn the loading around a different way. So now it wants to compress the bush rather than trying to spin it.
Yeah.
And you've got much less shear load on those bolts now. Whereas before, I've seen the bolts either snap off or snap the bolt out of the back cover.
Wow.
So yeah, some of them aren't the greatest. Welding. Need more hots.
How can you tell you need more hots? Not enough blue colour, or I suppose you can't
Not
see
enough
it.
welding. Just the sound, it's like telling me
Yeah.
needs more hots. That's better. Hear the bacon noise?
Yeah. Bacon.
Do love a good bacon. Not too bad.
Oh shit, you got the whole way across.
Yeah, I figured I'd just send it. The inside's definitely not as pretty, but it's just harder to get in there. Pretty happy with that.
Is that all done?
Well, I've done 1 pass each way.
Yeah.
So now I'll pull these out, and before I weld the guts, I'll actually weld that brace across.
Yeah, cool.
Because now that's in the current position, what I'll do is I'll measure, I'm just going to sort of wrap these tacks around just so it's all
Yeah.
confined.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'll measure the width of the bush and then the width of those. And then I'll tack this on to make sure that that's in the correct spot.
Yep.
And then I'll probably burn that back in so that it's not, because the problem is once I weld these, once I make a pass on the inside, it's going to want to pull all of those ears in.
Yep.
So
Makes
what
sense.
I want to do first is put that brace on. Even if I just tack it on, just to lock those in so it doesn't walk it across. Pull the diff out, weld those up properly, and then put it back together, give it a quick paint.
This looks too fancy for a budget build.
I know, bro, like that's where we're at, but the fact of the matter is I also want reliability. Like,
Yeah.
you've got to draw the line sometimes between budget and reliability. And to be fair, like considering these are Australian made, if you're putting this in yourself, they're like, the kit's like $1,070 for the rear kit with the hat. And most guys, by the time they get to here, you've already upgraded the front bushes anyway. Independent Motorsports will supply front bushes as well if you prefer. Like if you haven't yet upgraded the full deal, they will supply the Super Pro front subframe bushes.
Yeah.
So you can do the whole thing at home. Like realistically, a full day you could do this at home. Like never having fitted one before, I reckon.
Yeah, I guess the only thing for me would be the welding. But
yeah, you'd want to be a fairly competent welder. Like, I mean, I'm no weldingologist, but I feel like I can have a crack. I've done one of these before. Like I said, I did Scotty's one in his Falcon, and as far as I know, that car still functions. So, go me.
Yeah, sweet.
Oh, that's hot. Can you hold that?
No.
It's also hot. That's also hot. Oh, that's all hot.
Not enough to be damaging those bushes though, I assume.
No, it's actually like I was constantly smelling out for rubber and got this mad carcinogen smell from painting the subframe, which is electroplated or electrocoated or e-coated. But no, we're gravy now.
What's that? Knock them down?
I just wanted to knock the spatter down just so when I put this plate on, we're good to go. Welding. Came out of nowhere. You're fully there when I started welding.
Teleportation.
Undercut city. Means I need more wire. Why drive when you can fly?
So that's obviously you done.
It is obviously me done.
Why didn't you do the middle bit here?
Just didn't need it.
Cool.
You can actually make it crack too if you go too hard. All right, just put a tack like a 10 mil weld on the backside.
Good remembering.
Get them up out of the way. Got to put our drive shafts in. Just gonna zing that on, I reckon. I can't believe how cheap these shafts are. Apparently they're actually better, which is pretty wild. Just load it up with grease. That'll just help the shafts go in to the diff itself. Being as well that it's a pretty much brand new center and they're brand new shafts, the splines are going to be pretty sharp, so there may be slight potential for binding. The fun part. Sick. Plastic hammer. Because now it's on that snap ring. Like it's engaged the spline. Probably not really the right way to do it, but it's got to be a reason why that shoulder's there. Look at that. And that's how you bake a turkey. And I am going to put this arm in now because it'll stop it flopping out and wanting to detach that CV. So these are Super Pro arms that already come with the upgraded bushes. Pretty nifty little thing. Got these suckers off Sparesbox. Don't forget BCW5. Sprongy and when I have to liquidate this Falcon, this will be a hot rear end for someone.
Shotgun.
I don't think you're going to want the invoice. That's better. Put the other one of these in. Then we'll have a tightening Fiesta. Same deal, because these have got crush tubes in them. If you look there, see it spins independently.
Ah, cool.
So we can tighten them up at any ride height and it's not going to matter.
That's awesome.
Same as the Yardas, because they've got those factory rose or Heim joints in them. You can just tighten them at whatever height. That was the whole reason that arm went sprawling. It was because one was tightened at full travel and one was tightened at ride height. You never want your arm to sprawling. And we've also got to remember to put oil in the diff, because without that, that's a bad time. Make sure you don't use a ring spanner in there because otherwise it'll be part of the subframe. Because as those bolts come in, that'll close up. Put oil in the diff. Oh yeah! Oh, we've arrived. TikTok, back the clock. I feel like it shouldn't be that time already. Could have sworn I still had an hour in me. Should be enough.
What's the technical reason that the diff actually needs a breather?
As it gets hotter, when the oil expands, it just comes out rather than exploding.
Yes.
Like, well, when I say exploding, it won't explode.
It'll just build air pressure inside of the diff.
It'll push oil past the seals. Like past the pinion seal and past the side seals.
And then obviously when it's
just spew oil out everywhere.
Yeah, when it's cooled
when
down,
it's cooled, it'll just draw air back in.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to use this AN line, which I already had cut and terminated. I'll just swap the end over to a 90 instead of a 45. So I'm just going to shoot it up into the body cavity where it would have gone factory, and we'll just have to place that when it goes in. I don't know why, I just like using AN for diff breathers because every Ford I've ever seen, the diff breathers always, the rubber's always just snapped off. So it just pukes oil everywhere anyway.
Right.
So it kind of defeats the purpose of having the whole diff breather. You may as well just have an open hole in there. It'll just basically slide up into that. Oh, I'm just going to cut below the brake line. You don't need to cut that high. Like I'll basically just cut
I see. Yep,
across
easy.
there and then across the back.
Yep, perfect. That looks like you got to level out and marks it.
Thanks. It's not my first time on the grinder. Not my first rodeo.
It's my second. That bird's literally just sitting there to
yeah, that's just Dave,
shit
bro.
on your car.
That's just Dave, bro. Don't worry about it.
The wiring guy?
Nah, different Dave. Same dicks.
Dave's a very funny guy.
Dave's an absolute legend, bro.
Not that Dave, but
I'll take Dave. He's an absolute legend.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him for ages, hey.
Should do a big build just to call him in.
Oh, no. Well, when I finally run a 7, we are going to rewire the Cresta, so maybe we'll save up some primo Dave time for the R5 and the PD16 installation.
Yeah.
I do definitely want to do more of that myself, though.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I don't want to be entirely reliant on other people.
Yeah.
Because what happens if something goes wrong in the middle of nowhere and I have no Maddie and no Dave?
And you don't know how it was sort of done exactly.
Yeah, I do like that. That is lovely. These are our new control blades. It's the same deal there. Nice Super Pro ones, which obviously the blade is standard steel, but you've got nice new bush, and the same deal. These pivot in the bush, so you don't have to worry as much about tightening them at ride height. So yeah, they're pretty good setup. Just gonna read these for the lols. It shows you a way in the instructions to use a cable tie if you break the clip off.
Oh, that's cool.
That's sick, because they are all broken. I was wondering how we're gonna fix that. And then Super Pro came with the goods. LHS.
Snazzy.
Snazzy, you say. You're such an old man sometimes.
I thought that was a hip word.
Like broken hip.
I'm just trying to think where the hell I got snazzy from. Do you say snazzy?
I don't.
Are you going to start saying snazzy?
Wasn't planning on it. That's very clever. Whoever came up with that, wizard.
Yeah, that's great.
That's like...
Snazzy?
There you are saying it again. Oh yeah, that's on the knees, that is. That's really on the knees. The crouching. I need my stool again. Might be the only way we get through the day.
Soccer.
Go, France. Nearly got ya.
Love that lighting.
Snazzy. Have we forgotten anything?
I'm sure I'll remember it once it's bolted into the car.
Yeah, good.
Demonetized. Or as Americans call it, cancelled.
I feel like demonetized and cancelled are not the same animal, hey?
Alright, so the battery's on.
My back. How are you looking now?
Not good anymore.
Well, make it gooder.
Okay. It's not tight on the body, but we must be hung up on something.
Yeah, right, are you good now? Just come all the way down. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Keep going?
Keep going. Stop there. That's too far.
Okay, go up a tiny bit.
No, I'm taking the piss. So all you do is put 2 nuts on, like both the nuts.
Yep. Oh, sugar.
That's annoying. I don't know why. It's like it's got to go across and up. Just going to pretend it's not a problem right now. I'm going to put the handbrake cables back in. Cool. Just going to go to my happy place for a minute.
Falcon land?
Yeah, Falcon handbrake cables. Blech. Oh, actually, I can be a bit sneaky. Unless they're both broken. Which is also a possibility.
What'd you do, reef on it too hard?
No, I didn't. My name's not Gian. Where are those bits of green plastic gone? It's 2, yeah, one of them, there's 2 of them. I reckon they're buggered.
Yeah, they do feel a bit brittle and useless.
Ow. That actually works really good.
So cable tie instead of those green clips.
Yeah, seems to work pretty good. See, now it's just going to rotate that arm up and forward.
Yep.
It's in the right area now. Just got to spin that bar. See? Now it's on. Take that strap out.
Sweet. Bringing out the big guns.
Yeah, the AU shaft. God's car. Sick. These unis are actually used in conversions there, and they're at 1310 to 1350. So the number basically just refers to the width and the diameter of the joint. As you can see, these are asymmetrical. So that's the 1350 side, and then this is the 1310 side. The AU shaft actually uses 1310s, which is kind of surprising considering how late it is. That's an imperial style measurement. And yeah, considering the AU was from like the late 90s to 2002, yeah, I'm a bit surprised that it still uses imperial unis. But yeah, they work out pretty good, and it means that you don't need to make custom shafts as long as this thing's the right length. I trust Bill's wisdom, so fingers crossed. But yeah, he's the Drift Falcon wizard. Well, we have changed a few unis there. Like, this isn't something that really in late model cars you do. Like, it used to be pretty commonplace to change unis in cars, but just these days stuff just, well, A, seems to last better, and B, they're not serviceable unis, so you put a whole shaft in something, which can be a bit annoying and costly. As our unis are in, so now we put the tail shaft in and hope that it fits. I'll tell you one thing, it's very light. There we go.
Sweet.
That's bad. Oh, that's annoying. That's suboptimal, but I might have a shorter shaft. This is the old shaft from the Cresta. I wonder if that's shorter or longer. Surely the Cresta shaft's not going to be longer than an AU shaft. That's really annoying though, because now these 2 unis are useless. Tell you what, it's worth testing. Maybe it's an AU manual shaft. That's what's needed.
Right, okay.
Unless this is from a wagon, because I'm just purely going on what old mate said it was from.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it was $10. because it's actually not what I needed. The only thing I can think is there's different yoke lengths on the diff side, like as in the yoke that I got
Oh yeah.
is different to the one that Bill had.
Righto.
Because what I'll probably do is I'll see if they can shorten this.
Oh, okay.
Because it'd still be nice to use an alloy shaft.
Yeah. Just for the lightweight.
Yeah. It'd be cool if we put the OG Cresta shaft in that.
Yeah.
Only for the history of it.
Yeah. On a Wednesday though.
I think we're on. Pretty sure I've already said that once today though. And it didn't end well. This is part of the problem when you rely on like third-hand information though.
Yeah.
And also rely on the fact that the parts are what old mate said they were.
Yes.
So Bill may be 100% right in the fact you need a Falcon sedan tail shaft, but I may not have gotten one. Man, there we go. Let's flush with the seal. Tell you what, it's like almost still just, I don't know. I don't believe that. No, it's spot on.
No way. Wow.
Like if anything, I'd still say that even that is like a touch too long. Literally just got to pop this uni in there like that. There we go. I can't believe that the Cresta shaft goes straight in. I'm hoping that people enjoy this video though, because it's like, A, it's what happens with project cars, and B, it's something different. Like single piece tail shaft conversion. Yeah, it didn't go well, but you know what? I reckon that that's either a ute or a wagon shaft.
Yeah.
Because they're like 4 inches longer in the wheelbase. And that would make sense as to why. Like, that's the thing, like the measurement that we've ended up with doesn't explain the discrepancy.
Yes.
Like it shouldn't be, like we're a long way out.
Yeah.
But I need to get a tail shaft measurement really, rather than trust that old mate was. I mean, it's probably, it would be, I'm not saying old mate sold me down the river, and at the end of the day it's $10. So I'm not annoyed at that. It's just frustrated when at 10 to 5 you're trying to put the car together.
Yeah.
And she's no good. But in saying that, we now have the Cresta shaft in it, which is by rights too long still. Looking at that, like we've literally bottomed out the seal on the yoke. So that means we've only got 5 mil of movement really. I'll probably still try and get a shaft done before the next event, because I just don't know what it's going to actually do. We have absolutely run out of time today, so I'm just going to tackle the gearbox oil at a later date. Like I said, we don't have an event tomorrow, so no doubt you guys will see 700 more episodes of this before we do anything else with it. Our Shockworks coil levers are on the way, so we'll probably just do the gearbox oil level next episode with that. I will try and get a tail shaft. I know where there's other Falcon tail shafts, so I might have a measure and have a mark around, because I know what that shaft is. What I'll do is just measure uni to uni on this one, and then take, realistically I still want it to be easily 20 mil shorter, because we've got full engagement in the transmission. So what I actually want is to be able to push it forward, put it in the slip yoke nicely. Sorry, not the slip yoke, the gearbox yoke, and not have the rear diff yoke. That's how bad we're going. We've been on this thing all day literally, but I'm pretty happy with how it's all coming together. But yeah, we've just got to iron out some bugs and then we'll be gravy. But it seems like it's all coming together now, so I'm basically just going to throw the wheels on it. Well, the Falcon has kind of fought us a bit today. Having the wrong length tail shaft definitely didn't help, but I'm going to do some more digging. I'm pretty convinced that that tail shaft I've got is probably from a ute or a wagon, not a sedan as originally thought. So yeah, that's kind of put us in a bit of a bind, but miraculously the spare shaft I have for the Cresta actually went in. It is still too long, but it'll at least mean I can move the car around. So it's bottomed the seal out on the transmission, which means it's basically going to burn that seal up, and that's no good. So yeah, I'll either endeavour to get the AU shaft shortened, which I don't know who's going to want to touch an AU shaft, if they're going to want to even cut that up and shorten it. But yeah, I'll either get that shortened or we'll just build a new one. But I'm hoping to potentially also find another AU shaft that might get the problem solved as well. So yeah, plenty of options. Massive thanks to Giraffe Tools for our G20 pressure washer. If you are after one, by all means, check the link down below. There's also a promo code down in the description as well. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
Man, I've been rolling for 13 minutes straight. God damn.
Jesus, people are like, unsubscribe, out,
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
It's literally just you and me at this point, bro.
Oh well. Still good.
I don't think we can watch the video back enough times to pay the rent though.
This is true. Yeah, we'll use up all our internet doing that and then have to ironically
The
pay.
internet's worth more than the views.
Yeah.